How are you? And our topic today is time. Well, I'm one person. I don't want to write a book. I don't have time to write a book. Why am I going to write a book? And that is the biggest thing. But what if it's a passion? It's a project for me. I told you my memoir will be one point in time. I ended up getting putting too many projects on, and I'm kind of becoming more laser focused, finishing up Q4. At one point, I'm going to write a book, but people complain that want to do it about time. Why do they complain about time? I don't have time to write a book. Or
Well, I think it's
Someday Island. Someday I'm going to write a book like me. I'm in Someday Island. Go ahead.
yeah, and I think it's very important that they first of all remember why. Remember why is it you want to write a book? And I when I teach this class, I tell people write it on a sticky, write them on stickies and put them everywhere. I want to write a book. I want to leave a legacy. I have a message to share. I got a lesson to teach. I want people to not go through what I went through. Whatever, there is a motivation. There's probably several motivations, but what is your main motivation? And keep that in mind. And another reason is fear. The fear of not being able to do it, of failure, but also of not knowing how to start. Like how it seems so overwhelming to write a book. It's not. It really isn't. If you can get someone just to show you what to do and the different parts and the components, and how to set it up and build that foundation, which really isn't that hard. If you just need somebody to teach you that, then you can take off for the races. So that's another thing. It's just like I just don't even know how to start. Or I've had people come to me many times and say, "Well, I wrote my book, but it's only 3 pages." Well, that tells me they have a story, but they just need somebody to grow it, to develop it, to build upon it. And then another really legitimate, and I think every one of us, you, me, people I work with, it's a thing called time. And there's 24 hours a day. And so what I tell people is look at your time, 24 hours, that's your bank. You have 20 every day at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, or however your day runs, you get 24 hours loaded into that bank account. Thing is, if you spend it, you never get it back. You can't borrow it. You can't, loan it out. You cannot get it back. So make sure that you make every minute count, especially when you want to do a book. Because when you say yes to something, you're saying no to everything else. So say yes to that book. Um, if you have to wake up an hour early or stay up an hour late, or maybe, sit at your desk, a few days a week and write, but pick a time pick a time where you can be creative. Not like if you're not a morning person and getting up and you're like, oh my gosh, I need 5 cup coffees before I get started. Make sure it's a time where you know that you'll be alert, and pick that time and dedicate, commit it. If it's 10 to 11 o'clock at night after the kids have gone to sleep, put it on your calendar, put it in your alarm, 10 o'clock, your alarm goes off, time to write. But whatever it is, make that commitment. And you don't want to be one of these people. My mother would always tell me she wanted to write a book all growing up in my adult years. And she would just say, I got a book. I've got to write a book. I've got to write a book. And then my mother died and she never wrote that book. And I never got to read what she had to write. The world never got to read what she had to write. And so she took that book with her. And so, I tell people, there's a lot of book and graveyards, and don't be one of them. I've talked to a client who talked about legacy, and he said that this guy came up and said that they had read his book, and they said, my dad said, I'm going to write a book, and he did. And I think it was really shortly after he finished it, he died.
Oh my
They
goodness.
had that book for him, from him,
Totally.
to live on. And that's the thing about a book, it will live on way past you do, or your kids and grandkids and stuff like that. So the biggest thing is make a commitment and stick to it. If you're not such a commitment person, make it small bites, maybe 15 minutes, but don't make it a chore. Make it fun,
Exactly.
maybe 15 minutes a day or in increments.
Okay. I mean, that's so important. The great point you're making is about getting the book and getting it done and taking the time to do it and really lay it out. It's not, it's going to be a process. So 1 hour a day, 30 minutes a day, at least take the time to write it. And if you don't have an idea in a book, write a blog, right? And really see what your passion writing is and build that readership. If you love writing, practice, 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 take the time to do it, and you'll become better and better and better at it.
That's
Right.
true. And I do have one thing. People say, write what you know. And I do agree with that to a certain extent. But I worked with enough people that I think my words are write what you're passionate about. You can always learn what you don't know. But if you just know and you're not passionate about it, I could teach people skills all day long, but I can never teach passion. And if you write what you're passionate about in those places you don't know, you're passionate enough to find out and fill it in. And readers will grab hold of that passion. And
100%.
passion is so contagious. So keep that in mind too, as you're
Keep the
making the decision.
passion going. Keep it going, Sherry. It's such a
That's right.
great point. And if you put the time in, time will reap the rewards. Share exactly for people, especially our YouTube audience that really likes watching the shorts and stuff. And I guess, and then definitely in the long form on my channels, kind of what you do, Sherry, at Storehouse Media Group, so that people could contact you today, schedule a call.
Well, I do coaching, I do consulting. I have people who want to write that book, but they don't know where to start. So I'm like, great, why don't we start? I coach you and you write the book. And it's minimal time, you spend minimal everything. And but the rewards are great because you have that ownership of that book. So I do that, or I can ghostwrite it for you. If you just don't have time for that and you just need somebody to take care of it, I can ghostwrite a book for you. Meaning I will write it for you. We edit books. We do all kinds of edits, whatever edits need to be done on a book. We're boutique, meaning that we're not just straight across the board. We take your manuscript, your book, and we edit it on what we see needs to be done. You're the author, you make the final decision, and we just go with that. We publish. We are an award-winning book publisher. We create mesmerizing covers. We're very meticulous about the way it looks on the inside. We are book marketers with you, Neil. We market books and we take them to the movie screen.
So, and movie screen and bestseller. So
And
appreciate
bestseller.
that.
That's right. And award-winning.
All
Yes.
right.
So we just we have a lot of tools in our little toolbox that wherever you're at, whatever you need, we're there.
All
We've
right.
done over probably at this point over 500 books, my team combined, and it's not a whole lot we haven't seen and don't know how to work with.
Excellent. All right. Thank you again, Sherry, for your expertise. And thanks again for stopping by. Okay. Go to storehousemediagroup.com right now. Schedule a call, Sherry, today. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. That was special.